these are merchants of chaos. These are people who seek bloodshed. You know, their business model is all about kukue na damu na ikue hizi scenes zifike kwa international media. These activists, they eat and dine with the international media. You'll find Boniface Mwangi and Larry wakiketi chini wakikunywa na kuongea. But ushaipata hizo stories zikiraniwa na BBC? Hizo ni story utapata na kina Enoxikolia. Tuka Boniface Mwangi, he's built a mansion huko Athi River. Boniface Mwangi, his children goes to Brookhouse. Boniface Mwangi, he travels all over the world every single day. No other business is known about this gentleman. This is someone who we are told he started as an approved school child. Like he was a criminal at his elementary level of primary school. Tutam naye anapata, lakini 600 million imeenda. Hii itaenda. You know, it's very interesting, and I was telling you even before we started this show that poverty is the enemy. Put money in any field in this country, Kenyans will rise. You know, most people believed for the last 50 years or 60 years that we've been in independence that football ni ya Nyanza na Western pale. Ngoja utaona mabao kina Mwangi wataanza kufunga. And hata wacha kina Kibet, kina Hassan na kina Omar bas. You know that is the motivation, and it is as easy as that.
Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the MUFASA podcast. My name is Denzel Minor. I'm your amazing host, and I am welcoming to the bench alongside me his honorability to be Elijah Sawe mwenyewe. Karibu kwa show.
Asante.
Mzuri sana. Elijah and I will be discussing, among many other issues, just the value of human labor in Kenya and how much it transitions into being active voice in our democratic space. We look at the opportunistic pests who are stealing up on this value, and we'll also look at those who are giving the value its right price monetarily. And we will start with those who are opportunistically feeding off value, and we will talk about the youth, the unemployment, and more importantly, the blood economy in Kenya. And when I talk about blood economy, I'm talking about these activists whom you see every day, every time, repetitively on your screens, always complaining about a problem, never having a solution, and no solution has been accorded to them, either in a bill of parliament or even in a civic engagement proposal. So with me is Elijah Sawe, and Elijah Sawe, karibu sana. Where do we start? Take it away.
You know, Denzel, our 2010 constitution, article 33, 37, talks about freedom of expression, talks about freedom to assemble and associate. And actually that is where the spirit of activism lives in our constitution. Even before we dive in, we must appreciate the role that activism has played in this country. And I'm talking about pre-independence and early Kenya activism. Talk about Pio Gama, Tomboya,
the labor movement,
Dedan Kimathi, Harry Thuku, Odinga, Raila Odinga, come much closer, early 90s with Kina, Dr. Reverend Njoya and all these people. So we've had a fair share of freedom fighters and activists who have really helped this country mature and even get its footing from a democratic perspective in building democracy and shaping the multi-party, the 2010 constitution, election cleanliness and democracy and all these things that we've seen growth. Even for women, we saw people like Rogo Manduli who fought for women, Wangari Maathai, who gave us positions like women member of parliament, people with disability being included.
Affirmative action.
Yeah, and Northern Kenya being recognized as Kenya, devolution, and every part of this country getting development. So there is a lot of good things that activism and freedom fighters and all that have given us as a country. However, today there is a lot of inhygienity in that sector. I'm talking about Boniface Mwangis of this world, kina Hanifas of this world, Khalid, I don't know who. So many of them wako na majina wameongezea hapo mbele hata siwajui. Mtu anaenda anapima tracksuit inakaa kama ya pilot wa chopper ama watchman. Anavaa red beret, anasema ni freedom fighter, ni activist. And I want you to understand that this is a business. Today, we are not talking about freedom anymore or real activism. This is a business. Why am I calling it a business? Denzel, nataka uniambie, mtu ka Boniface Mwangi, he's built a mansion huko Athi River. Boniface Mwangi, his children goes to Brookhouse. Boniface Mwangi, he travels all over the world. Every single day, he's all over traveling. Who pays for these flights? How many Kenyans are able to afford Brookhouse? CEOs of big corporates in Kenya, top politicians, governors, president, ministers. Those are the people who can afford to take their children there. But he takes his children there. Now, no other business is known about this gentleman. This is someone who we are told he started as an approved school child. Like he was a criminal at his elementary level of primary school. We don't know his qualification. We don't know the degree that he holds. We don't know any business that he does. We don't know whether he sells something or he does anything. He files 0 returns to KRA, but he can afford this life. Do you know why? Because there are people who are actually funding this business. There are people who are putting money into these individuals so that these people can create chaos. And before you come in, I want you to understand the business model.
What's the business model?
The business model of today's activism is that, number one, create opportunities for crisis. So show in the international media that there is a lot of crisis in Kenya. Kuna watu wanauawa, kuna wamama ambao wamefukuzwa makwao. There are children who've dropped out of school. There's bloodshed in the streets. There's crisis. So that's the first thing you have to do. Show that there's crisis. Even if hakuna, create scenes for crisis. Then after umeonyesha kuna crisis, now get a lot of following, make a lot of noise about it, tweet, ask the international media, the BBCs, the Fox, the CNN to retweet, and even put just 5 minutes of these scenes in their news. Then after that, take those clips and now share to international donors. Some of these international donors are genuine, but I want to believe most of them have hidden agenda. Because once they see that, then they justify that kuna shida Kenya. Mm-hmm. Actually, Kenya hakuna democracy. Kenya, ukisema one term, unashikwa. Kenya, ukifight for school fees za high school ama university, unauawa na polisi, unafanya nini? So the small things have to be magnified. Then once they do that, their proposals are taken and they receive money. Can I shock you? Mm-hmm. In 2023 and 2024, they received over 5 billion in total Kenya shillings. Because 5 billion Kenya shillings. How these activist sets.
All of them together. And
about just 15 are notorious. And their terms of reference, so their KPIs is to create chaos. So these are people who, not even a single thing in this country, inafaa isemwe imefanyika vizuri. Take genuine nini ya youths demonstration, organic demonstration ya youths. Ingia pale, weka bloodshed, use it to make money. Pata wamama wana fight for some rights, ingia pale, create scenes, make money. And the sad thing about this is that the same people would come and try to tell us that they are sustaining this through to collect pesa kwa young people. You see these Anifas Sarakasi. Ana open Facebook nini till number, anawekewa hapo pesa kidogo anasema I've received 20 million and this is how I've spent it. I can assure you 90% of all these things are funding money that they are receiving. So that's where the problem is.
Let's go back last year into the 2024-2025 finance, 23-24 finance bill protests.
Yes.
Are you saying this at the height of this youth organic protest was embedded in them, embedded within the structure of the youth protest was a bloody, some people who were very targeted in what they were doing?
I told you the business model, Denzel. These are merchants of chaos. These are people who seek bloodshed. Their business model is all about kukue na damu na ikue hizi scenes zifike kwa international media. So anywhere where a genuine cause inaanza. So most of the time people will be dissatisfied. It's normal to be dissatisfied.
Yeah, in a political discourse.
Anywhere, whether in church, whether in a mosque, whether in a corporate,
or even in government.
Yeah, even in family, even in government. It's very normal to be dissatisfied and want to express yourself. I wanted this, why am I getting this? Very normal. In fact, very healthy. That is why iko kwa constitution.
Yes, democracy. Because
now this business model can only make money if this dissatisfaction ikue magnified to a point where there'll be bloodshed. Because without bloodshed, there is no money. So people can be dissatisfied. Youths waseme, we are not happy about the CSs that have been appointed. So what we want is that we want to take our nini, we want to picket, express ourselves as per Article 33. We want to go present our petition to Parliament or to the President and ask the Parliament not to pass the list that the President has given them. That is normal. That's healthy. But within that marching, that is where they come in as merchants of chaos. So they have to create chaos. Because let me ask you, I'm not happy about a finance bill. Why would I throw stones to the police? Why would I go to the face of police wearing a flag of Kenya and tell a police woman, mbona unakasirika nika uko na mimba, why should I go and go and tell the police hata munajifanya hapa and your children as those provocative comments that they make. They go online, wanaanza kuambia watu mumeibiwa, what? It is true that people are dissatisfied, but they are already expressing themselves without necessarily causing chaos. If you look at even our maandamandos, the first day, second day is always peaceful. By the third day, the merchants have sat down, wame create mpango ya create chaos. They are the ones, hata utaona kwa frontline, utapata Boniface Mwangi ndio wa kwanza kwenda parliament na pigs na kutupa hizo pigs ndani ya parliament na create chaos na kusema atapiga mtu kofi. Ana drive kwa the other side of the road, ana stop na kusema tunataka tustopishe hizi gari za polisi zenye mbona zinapita the opposite side of the road. But maybe they are even chasing after a criminal. But they create scenes for chaos. And the moment chaos happen in such scenes, of course the police will automatically retaliate. What will happen? Blood will be shed. Now what happens? The business model ingiana.
Maybe let's talk about how they organize and how they disseminate. It happens a lot on digital platforms.
Yes.
We are going into an era of elections. Misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. Is this economy tied together with these things?
These are people who, as I've told you, they are well organized. So the easiest way to reach masses in a very cheap way is through social media. I mean, today, whether you want to pass good information or bad news, they use social media. You see these guys who are calling themselves FBI. 4 people wanataka kuunda kikosi chao, wanasema polisi hawakutrainiwa kuumiza watu, so hao wanaenda kuprotect watu. Okay, fine. It sounds like a very good statement that can easily be supported by masses. But if every one of us who is dissatisfied would create their own police force, then are we saying the current police force belongs to an individual?
No.
It belongs to this country. It's supported by the constitution. That is why there is a process behind it. Even the presidency every single arm of this government, even the judiciary, is supported by the constitution that we chose. But if I wake up today as Elijah Sawe na niseme niko dissatisfied na police post yenye iko Nandi Hills, nianzishe yangu na nijirecruitie OCPD, if everyone does that, si tutaenda penye nini wako these other countries that are not stable, the Haitis and the likes. So these guys they always come up with innovative way. I won't be surprised if the same merchants of chaos are the people sponsoring these groups, these sets that would then magnify chaos, because the point is provoke the police to act so that there is bloodshed.
There's a popular narrative you usually find in Kenyan maandamano culture, which is the best police is a dead police.
Yeah.
What does that talk to us about how we've understood picketing and what is a space for police in community and society?
You know, it's again, those are statements supported by these people because that's how they roll. So you first create chaos, and for you to create chaos, provoke. So call all these people names. Make sure that there is no environment for a police officer who has come to protect picketers to actually protect them, but to harm them. So mtupie mawe, msukume, akitulia kama that lady that we saw in the video, mnyanganye helmet, mgonge nayo, mpaka afanye nini? Act. Record ile part yenye polisi ana retaliate. Post kwa social media. Tumia influencers kui retweet na kuretweet. Tag CNN, tag nani. Sa zile CNN tu wame capture that news for 5 minutes. Hiyo ni invoice.
Hiyo ni invoice ndani.
Hiyo ni invoice.
There's an argument that can support what you're saying, because foreign media has had this caricature of posting Kenyan President William Ruto as someone who's disliked and someone who has failed to rein in on order in this country. On the 11th of July 2025, BBC ran a headline that said, "Is William Ruto the most disliked president in Kenya's history?" On the 24th of July 2025, Time also ran a concurrent op-ed that says, "William Ruto has failed Kenyans like me." But this is not to be exhibited by all media houses. Maybe for this section where you're seeing Western media, especially from the West, that is painting Kenya as sliding into a state of anarchy. Does this help the blood economists, or are they part of the same team?
That's reconciliation. So now they are reconciling the two sides. So they want to say that what is driving our narrative, we have evidence. As you can see, in 3 minutes, there are police who were seen beating people in the streets. And it is true, you'll see those police beating people in the streets because they were provoked. And they were not just provoked. How come? More often than not, zile videos ita trend ni ile part ya retaliation. But tumekuwa tukipata videos chache za the process to provoke. Now, sasa media kama CNN, Al Jazeera, BBC, wamepost hizi vitu, wanataka justify more. So how do you justify it? Now go back now and try to create stories that, and by the way, it's not just William Ruto who is branded as such. All African presidents. I remember there is a very old clip of President Mandela. I think he was speaking to either CNN, BBC, or Al Jazeera. And the first question he was asked, he was told, "Why are you friends with Gaddafi? Why are you friends with Castro? Why are you friends with who?" And he answered very well. He said, "Why do you think that your enemies have to be my enemies?" Think about it. If these people were doing that in the early 90s, they are even doing more. And even the next president, hata ile siku sawa yatakuwa preso, nitaulizwa hiyo swali.
Inshallah.
So it has to continue. Like, you must brand Africa as needy of basic things.
Is that the reality on the ground?
And it's very shameful. Let me take you back. That's why I'm telling you, these activists, they eat and dine with the international media. You'll find Boniface Mwangi and Larry wakiketi chini wakikunywa na kuongea. Kwa nini? They have one objective in common. Sorry to say that. They are our professional, they are our sons. But what for instance, I remember when when Nani, Larry was posting Niniki leak, JKIA. And akaulizwa na Kipchumba Murkomen at that time that why do you only post this leaking? I haven't seen you posting that kuna migration ya wild beast Kenya. Kuna mtu Kenya amefanya something good, because we have so many good stories about this country. Talk about our tourism sector, talk about our matatu culture, our social services. There are so many good things themselves. I mean, the other day a county government like Murang'a, the very young people between 20 to 25 are running the ICT and automating things. Their M-Pesa story, you know how Kenya is almost today ata De La Rue ni kama ilianguka, because I'm sure orders are printed notes Kenya today probably is 20% what it was 10 years ago. But ushaipata hizo stories zikiraniwa na BBC? Hizo ni story utapata na kina Enoxikolia. Stories zenye zinaraniwa na BBC ni stories za Wajia pale mwisho. Sa zile kuna drought.
Correspondent.
Utapata huko correspondent. Uingie hivi JKIA kukinyesha, hakujai kuwa na mvua kubwa kama hiyo Kenya. Na tunajua JKIA ilikuwa imechapa. Hata stories za Adani ilikuwa kurenovate. Utasikia the same people wenye wanasema isi renovatiwe. Then do you know what they'll tell you? Our work is not to paint Kenya as a good destination. Our work is to report the accurate truth of the situation on the ground.
Again, truth does not from facts.
I don't think that truth is, you see, it is true that I'm wearing a blue shirt. But it is also true that I have a brown shoe.
Brown shoe, yes.
So you choose which truth.
Na kunanga subjective
na hivyo ndo wanachezanga, wanatafutanga ka ukweli kidogo njo agenda isonge.
Yes. So I find like sisi in the civic space, because we at MUFASA podcast, we're in the civic space, we give narratives a platform to come alive. Kama yako, kama vile tumekuanga na kina Higgins. Na pia wao tuna look forward to have on set to ulize hizi maswali, watuambie John aje hakuna polisi hata moja tushesikia wamepush kwa bunge ya kuchange nchi.
Very good. Nataka nikupatia a few statistics. Kuna NGO inaitwa African Uncensored Limited. Walipata funding ya US dollars $250K. Kuna Women's Link Worldwide walipata $750K. Kuna KHRC $600K. All these ni USD. Transparency International $300K. Open Institute Trust $100K. Billions and billions and billions of monies that all these guys are receiving. Now, hii pesa ukiangalia collectively, what I can say in the last 1 year that they've taken 5 billion, what they've done, number one, they've made sure that every single protest in our country is chaotic and blood is poured, people are killed. The only other thing I've seen them do is to go and put flag on our young people who are being killed, and be there for a few moments, make sure they capture videos that go to CNN and all that. Think about it this way. If these people were genuine, if these 5 billion shillings were actually used to expand our democracy, build spaces where young people can go and improve on their knowledge about how they should be governed.
Civics.
Understand their roles. Understand their rights. Assume this money was actually used to litigate and take people to court who are doing crazy things. People who are raping our young children. People are doing FMC, whatever. People who are, if this money was put into that, assuming if this money was actually put in agriculture in Northeastern, and showing people in Northeastern how they can make their nini green, their counties green, how they can farm and feed their families. But this information will not be used to build sports culture in this country. No. It will not be used to build artists in this country. It will not be used to build even shows and platforms where people can come and showcase talent. This money will be used to fund vipindi, na kupeleka watoto
Sarakasi.
Brookhouse. Tosha.
Aya, sawa. Because we are a civic platform, we owe them the right of reply. And lazima, this is your invitation to come to the bench, just as Elijah Sawe has, and put your case.
Hiyo siku nitafutie kiti ndogo.
Nikutafutie kiti hapo kando.
Niwasikize nikiwa hapo.
Ukiwa hapo live. Sawa.
Boniface Mwangi tu atuambie.
Bonia kama.
Ile tu Brookhouse manze.
Analipa aje?
Kila
mtu anataka kulipia mtu wake.
Hii nyumba amejenga Athi River. Easy trips anaenda na anafile nil returns.
Nil returns. Anyway, so yeye analipanga tu consumer tax.
Yeah, consumer tax, VAT.
Wah, ngori. The second bunch of millionaires. Harambee Stars.
Yes.
President Ruto went down on record this earlier last week when he issued the largest ever bounty for football in Kenya and for any sports team at exactly 600 million Kenya shillings if the Harambee Stars emerge victorious at the Chan 2024 tournament with their down payment of 1 million shillings for every victory in the first game already checked in. Maybe tell us, what does this mean for Kenyan sports?
Mi kwanza nataka niambie Orezo. Tutam naye anapata lakini 600 million imeenda. Hii itaenda. You know, yeah. It's very interesting and I was telling you even before we started this show that poverty is the enemy. Put money in any field in this country.
You'll see results.
Kenyans will rise.
Secure the bag.
Most people believed for the last 50 years or 60 years that we've been in independence that football ni ya Nyanza na Western pale. Ngoja utaona mabao kina Mwangi
watafunga. Kina Kibet.
Hata wacha kina Kibet. Kina Hassan. Omar. You know, that is the motivation.
Yeah.
And it is as easy as that. Just monetize a field or a sector in economy. Make it look like there is money by putting in money and creating a real story that there are people. Think about South America.
Yeah.
People like Ina Messi being discovered when they were very young, and big brands like Nike, Adidas going there and nurturing those talents, bringing them to Barcelona and all that. Kina Cristiano, when you look at those stories, look at the west north of this continent, the Ivory Coast, Ghana, the likes, Nigeria. Senegal. When you listen to stories like Sadio Mane, Kina Eto'o in Cameroon, you know, the Moroccos of this world, these countries, they invested in football. They put money in those industries. There are billionaires who came forth and invested in that field.
Yeah.
And once that happened, people realized that kuna life pale. Naeza imgu unajua imbio sisi wakale ukimbia tu cause
to global level,
then tunashtukia tu tumekimbia hivyo tukafika. But when these fields are monetized more, I'm telling you, sports like football, rugby,
running,
we just need to give people
athletics.
money. So for me, what I think the president did was not just to give out 600 million. It was to create a story, a narrative that will transform how we think about football. So that tomorrow you know that a footballer in Kenya should have the same status as a footballer in England, as a footballer in America, South America, as a footballer in Germany, you know. So when you look at these people in Europe, you meet the people who are driving the best cars, the people who are living in the best places in the country, are athletes. So that's what we need to do in this country, so that people can nurture their talents, because now they know kuna pesa.
Maybe let me ask you, what do you think is the urgent priority right now? Because if you look at tournaments like South Africa 2010, we saw that besides the major tournament, there was a legacy project in which they were supposed to improve their local football. If you look at the status of South African football today, they just had a club participate in the FIFA Club World Cup. The only club from Sub-Saharan Africa, the Mamelodi Sundowns. And you see a lot of investment in the community, not just with the monies for the tournament, but using also the monies for the tournament, for the community, to, you know, upgrade pitches, upgrade teaching staff to upgrade coaching levels. What's your idea on how President Ruto can utilize the moment, CHAN and AFCON, to ensure that when he leaves office 2027, Kenyan football will never be the same again because he passed through?
You know, government is the main driver. If government wants to make coffee today in Kenya industry that is lucrative, they can make it. Even if they want to make selling salt to be the most lucrative venture, they can make it, because government is the biggest buyer. Government can sell you anywhere. You know, they hold all the instruments of bilateral, multilateral. They can do anything to build an industry. And even most of the success of Safaricom, for instance, is government, because government has made Safaricom our home of innovation as a country. If today we want to think about any e-government platform, Safaricom are always somewhere, either completing payments, supporting with hosting it, supporting with the expertise, or even doing it. So the same way, government would be the only person or the only body that can actually be able to build sports. So football in South Africa has been built by government. You see, when the government of South Africa went through a very aggressive period to bid for World Cup, all of us didn't believe that we could have World Cup. That was 2010, right?
Yes.
And they got it. And they put in a lot of investment. That is when most of the stadia in South Africa zilijengwa. That is when even their national team ilikuwa revamped. And from there, their local leagues hazijaishuka chini. Because now the infrastructure is there.
The pipeline.
Culture is there because people have felt it. They've seen football in its place. The heartbeat of World Cup is the heartbeat of football. You take World Cup to any country, and everyone.
America started their league after World Cup 94.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So that is the first step. We have to invest. You know, and the sad truth about Kenyans is Wakenya wanafikiria vitu za private sectors inafazi work differently na gava. Mkenya ata believe njo hardware yangu kama Njoro is succeed, nafaa kuinvest time yangu na pesa yangu. Njoro atauza shamba yake, aanzishe hardware. Ainacha mpaka ikuje ikue kubwa, si ndio? Lakini uambie Njoro that gava inafaa invest in building a stadia ya 44 billion, 64 billion so that to expand sports, anasema at what cost?
At what cost? Na yendo kwa hardware.
Ukimuuliza, okay fine, so what do we do? So people believe that our small ninis that kina Kipto, kina Njoro and kina Wanyama have building should be built differently with how the country should be built. The fact is, garbage in, garbage out. For us to build sports sector, lazima tuwekele do. And money is infrastructure. There are things that government must do. Infrastructure. So the first thing is, hata wewe kama Denzel, assuming you are an investor, ndo kuja invest in a football club, una need infrastructure. So the first infrastructure that, you know, the stadia in itself is not profit making.
It's not.
We don't expect tickets to build, to pay our loans for stadia. No. The same way, we don't imagine that building a road or SGR will automatically make a bag of coffee iongezeke pesa. What we are doing is, we are doing the macroeconomics so that the things that people can do can be able to be supported by the infrastructure. So the same way, we must start with stadia. Talanta Hela is a good stadia. We need such Talanta Helas at least 5 in the capital.
Regional centers of excellence.
Within Nairobi, maybe around Kajiado, you know, around Kiambu, around Moranga, within
Nakuru, Mombasa.
Then every county zikwe pia na such stadia. So that now individual private investors, you can invest in building a team, then you lease a stadia. Inakuwa home nini yao, you nurture that talent, then umse ameanzisha hizo clubs, ataanza kumonetize. Jazz wengine locally, anauza wengine internationally,
in an academy,
jazzes, promoting brands, marketing and all those. So that is how now these 64 billion itarudishwa kwa economy now through clubs, endorsements,
community,
selling individual monies contributed by players
Yeah.
wenye watakuwa wamenachariwa nayo,
Welfare
trophies,
programs.
marketing our country. Yeah, so people should think from that point, not just
Kuangalia
looking at things.
do, alafu
Usione-
nasema hivyo.
hatuwezi ona vitu kimaembe hivyo.
Ukweli. So without further ado, Sawe, tumefika to the natural conclusion of this episode.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you to give us a final word for episode 14.
Yeah, so me, I think I've spoken most of the things that I wanted to say.
Yes.
I think just to summarize it is that from a very strict and serious point of view, wale waku nani alisema nini, wale wakudumu
Watadumu.
wale wakenya wameamua wanataka kusaidia kusupport their country, watawork na watabenefit kwa hii system.
True that.
Then wale watu wenye wanataka kutumia watu wengine wakidhani wao ni wajanja, they'll still make it, even by spoiling the lives of the young people, by making some of the people lose their children and all those things just to benefit themselves, hawatadumu. Because me, what I believe is that there's a God in heaven who at the end of the day
Naangalia mambo, regulate.
Karma is real.
Yeah.
So what I just want to say is that let us support the things that should be supported. If the president gives present to football players, let's think through it and see what is he really doing. Is he just rewarding 40 people who are in Harambee Stars today, or is he building a whole sector that is $1 billion sector in other countries? And
Talanta
can we
hela.
do that? Does it mean wengine wako na miguu tatu, sisi tuko na mbili, that's why hatuna masters hapa? No, ni ile tu sector haijafanya nini. So let's look at things much more deeper, then let's criticize from a point of knowledge, so that when I look at your criticism nitasema umse ana make sense. Because wezi amka tu na kusema why is he using our money to reward footballers when there are people who need to be fed, and it's the Ministry of Sports that is supporting it.
Yes,
it's not the Ministry of Agriculture, it's not the Ministry of Fisheries. So why would you want the Ministry of Sports, how do you want them to do their job when they do their job? So criticism must be of value. It must be criticism that can build this country. And I want to wish Harambee Stars all the best. I want them to take home the 600 million so that we can transform our sports in this country. Well,
there you hear it, there you have it. It goes like this in the Bible. One time a man called Gamaliel, he said to the Sadducees gathered at the trial of Stephen and the disciples, if this man is honest, he will stay. If what he's saying is true, everything will fall. Just as my co-host has said today, if what the activists are doing is really right, it will stick not just here on earth, but also in heaven. But if they are not doing the right thing, you shall see trouble will befall them. As for the Harambee Stars, keep doing the right thing, keep winning, keep making yourself millionaires. It's our job here in Kenya to cheer you on and to ensure you get the best 12th man to bring this trophy home. As I always say, oh Lord, make it rain, and the rest is up to us. Thank you for watching episode 14. Till then, episode 15. Like our show on Facebook, on TikTok, or on all other platforms. See you then.